Matthew chapter 27, verses 45 to 50. It begins in 45. Apo the ektis horas skotos ageneto epi pasen tigin eos horas enatis. Now from the 6th hour darkness came upon all the land until the 9th hour. There's a lot to study with these hours. What hours are we talking about? Hebrew time, Roman time? It gets to be a science in studying it. I have an article written on this. It's called What is the Sixth Hour? Of John 19:14. And it goes in what is so important about the 6th hour in this scripture. And it goes on down and it shows that it was the 6th hour when Pontius Pilate said to behold your king. Now the 6th hour, if it was a crucifixion, it couldn't be the same 6th hour because this was way before he was on the cross. So this article goes into that. I'll just go through it a little bit slowly so you can read it and find out about this. And what is the 6th hour? The night is a Jewish time. So it's obvious that one of the 6th hour that it talks about with Pontius Pilate was something other than the 6th hour of Jesus being on the cross. But I believe other Gospels talk about Jesus being on the cross from the 6th hour to the 9th hour. There was darkness. Then Micah 7:8 says, Rejoice not against me, O my enemy, for I have fallen and I will rise up. For if I shall sit in the darkness, the Lord will give light to me. And Jesus was at the well in Samaria when the woman came to the well at the 6th hour. Peter prays at the 6th hour in Acts 10:9. Now the 6th hour they're saying was noon, and the 9th hour at 3 p.m. This is generally what it's thought to be. In John 19:14 it says, And it was preparation of the Passover, and about the 6th hour. And he says to the Jews, Behold your king. So this is the problem place for the 6th hour. Verse 46 then continues, Peride tin enatin oren anavoisan o Isus phoni megali. About the 9th hour at 3 o'clock, Jesus yelled out with a great voice, saying, Legon, Eli, Eli, lima sabachthani. That is, in the English, I translated Eli, Eli, lima sabachthani as best I could. Now, the original Jesus speaking was in Aramaic. So this Eli, but it was translated into Greek, which we have here, transliterated, I should say. So the word that he was saying probably sounded something like Eli, and so they, writing it in Aramaic into Greek, they used the letters that would have been in Aramaic, and they used the equivalent letter in the Greek. Then now we have it saying in the Greek that is tutestin theemu inati me ekatelepis. My God, why have you abandoned me? So now we see the Greek equivalent to this Aramaic saying, and then we have underneath the English translation, my God, why have you abandoned me? That is the English, here's the Greek, and we don't have the Aramaic spelling, but we have the transliteration into Greek letters, Eli, Eli, lima sabachthani. That is, why, my God, why have you abandoned me? Abandoning, 14:59, it says in Psalms 22:1, O God, my God, take heed to me. Why did you abandon me? Is what this quotation right here with the footnote is referring to Psalms 22:1. Now, what exactly did Jesus mean by, my God, why did you abandon me? It's interesting, he didn't say Father, but he said, my God, why have you abandoned me? I can only guess, which I hate to do, of what Jesus was saying, but he was abandoned to a certain extent by tasting death, and then it mentions in other places of possibly going to Hades to see the ones living in darkness, to bring them out, and so forth. I would think that that's being abandoned, where if we are not, Christians are not going to taste death. It says we won't see Hades. We will not experience what Jesus is going to experience. Now here on the cross, in a little bit here, where he dies. Psalm 71:11, it says, for my enemies spoke against me, and the ones watching out for my life consulted together, saying, God abandoned him. Pursue and overtake him, for there is not one rescuing him. Isaiah 60:15 says, because you became abandoned and detested, and there was not one helping, even I will make you an everlasting leap for joy, a gladness to generations of generations. This could be very well a portent of the crucifixion, where because you became abandoned and detested. Acts 2:27, it says, for you shall not abandon my soul into Hades, nor shall you give your sacred one to see corruption. Now, he did not stay in Hades, but from other places it sounds like he did go there to bring those out that were there. In verse 47, it continues then, Tines they ton eki estoton, then some of the ones standing there, akusantes, having heard, elegon oti, said that, Elion phoni utos, this one calls Elijah. Malachi 4:5, it talks about Elijah coming. It says, and behold, I will send to you Elijah the prophet before the coming day of the Lord, the great and apparent. Now, these people know that Elijah is to come, so it's kind of, they're using it as, let's see if if Elijah comes. They thought Eli was Elijah. In verse 48, Ke evtheos Ramon is exavton, and immediately one from out of them running, Ke lavon spongon, and taking a sponge, plisas te oxus, filled also of vinegar, Ke perithis kalamo, putting it on a reed, epotison avton, gave him to drink. It says in John 19:29, a little more in detail, a utensil then was situated full of vinegar, and the ones having filled the sponge with vinegar, and putting on hyssop, brought it near his mouth. When therefore Jesus took the vinegar, he said, it has been finished, and having leaned the head, he delivered up the spirit. In Val 49, it says, Ide lipi elegon, and the rest said, Aphis, let go, idomen e erkete Elias soson avton. We should see if Elijah comes delivering him, making fun of this whole thing. In verse 50, O de Isus palin kraxas phoni megali, and Jesus again having cried out with a great voice, Aphike to pneuma, let go the spirit. And he says in Luke 23:40, he says, Father, into your hands I place my spirit. The spirit, letting go of the spirit, is a figure for dying. And so he has died, basically, physically died. Luke said he expired. So Either way, he is no longer alive, and his body is on the timber. And next section, we'll go into what happens with that.